Well, it's the long-awaited start of 2018. So today is the 1st of January 2018. And I thought that since it is the beginning of the year and since I have been a bit quiet for the last 10 days or so, I would give you an overview on what you can expect in terms of the energy of the numbers, in terms of life mapping for 2018. So 2018, when you reduce that to a single number, so 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 8 is 11, and 1 and 1 is 2, is a 2-year. So universally, it's a 2-year for all of us. 2017 was a 1-year, and 1 was about integrating. It was about stepping into the world. It was about unleashing your natural leader. It was about knowing where you were going and what you wanted to do. 2 is more about wisdom. So 2 helps to bring the balance to those expectations and perceptions that we had of 2017. So many people have said 2017 was an absolutely crap year. And I remember at the end of 2016, people said 2016 was a shit year. Well, the truth is 2016, 2015, 2017, they are neither good nor bad years. They're just years that contain equal amounts of challenge and support. The problem is that we perceive the pain of challenge 7 times more intensely than we perceive the pleasure of support. So we tend to focus more on the challenge, obviously, than we do on the support. So if you've had challenges during this year, those are the ones that stand out. And the support, you assume it was there, but it wasn't there to the same extent. The other thing is that when you're in a 1 year, you have big plans, you have great expectations, you are expansive, and you're expecting everything and everyone to have that expansiveness with you. Those expectations can be what sometimes railroad you because, things don't necessarily happen according to your timelines. It doesn't mean it hasn't happened. It just means it hasn't happened yet or quite in the way in which you anticipated. So the 2 of 2018 helps us to bring more perspective. It goes, okay, so you had all these plans for 2017 and you initiated these new things, excuse me, and you had these expectations. Well, this is the downside of those plans and expectations, and you've been shown them now, so what are you going to do with them? So 2 in Shinshunjutsu came into the universe meaning wisdom. It's the wisdom to appreciate that support and challenge come together as a package. It's the wisdom to know that good and bad come together as a package. It's the wisdom to appreciate that love of self and love of other comes together as a package. So 2 helps us to connect to the wisdom of this dualistic universe that we live in. And when we connect to that wisdom, it doesn't mean we don't have hopes and dreams. It doesn't mean that we don't have preferences for how things are going to turn out. But it does mean that when things happen to us, whether we judge them as being good or bad, we are able to formulate a response and not just a reaction. Because when something happens that seemingly is amazing, you've met Prince or Princess Charming and won the lottery, and you can't see the downside, well, 2 enables us to see the downside. The downside of Prince or Princess Charming is that they're eventually going to show them their real side. If Prince Charming has come, if he's been like a knight and he's rescued you because you're the princess in the tower, once he's rescued you, he's going to be looking for someone else to rescue. So if you empower yourself, he's going to have no one to rescue, and that's going to cause problems in the relationship. If you win the lottery, you've suddenly got a whole lot of friends that you didn't have before. You've got family members that are leeching and mooching off you. You've got people who are offering to manage your money for you when in actual fact you don't know whether you can trust them or not. You have to be a vessel big enough to hold the value of that lottery money that you've just won. That's why most lottery winners lose all the money, right? So those are the downsides. When you are connected to this idea that this universe is in actuality, it's neutral, it's a perfect balance of support and challenge, of good and bad, then no matter what 2018 throws your way, you are able to adapt to that more fluidly. And that helps you to actually move more intentionally and with intentional and conscious response through 2018 as opposed to just with reaction. Because if we're waiting for a year to be a good one, you're going to wait a long time because it's never going to be more good than bad. It's only going to be that way in your perception. So 2 is also the number of nurture. It's the number of caring. And caring for yourself and for others is a basic human drive, actually. We are programmed to care. And when we are hurt And when we get our feelings wounded and when we have trauma, then we shut ourselves off and we tell ourselves we're not going to care. But caring is a default setting. So some people then externalize and they project all their caring outwards because they weren't cared for enough in their perception. Or they turn it all inwards and they become complete narcissists. There's no such thing as a complete narcissist, just by the way, or a complete altruist. We all always have both. So 2 is about nurture. It's about nurturing yourself. It's about that self-care that is so fundamental to living an inspired life, so that you have enough resource and you can externalize that to others. So the 2 is essentially the energy that's governing the year for all of us that stick to this particular calendar. But each one of us, we have our own individual year number. So that means that you will have 2 energies working with you during this year. An example of that is last year for me was a 9 year, but 2017 was a 1 year. And 9 is about transformation and healing. And 1 is about new beginnings. So there was that constant tension for me last year about, I need to start something new. I really need to get going. I really need to grow this business. But in actual fact, for me, I was in a transformation and healing year. I was in a, let's end off the cycle of 9 and see what we can take from this and what part of this actually facilitates my growth and how can I use this to move myself into the next best version of myself. So that's a conflict between those, right? So you may find that you have something similar going on this year. So how do you know what year number you are in? You take the day of your birth and you reduce it to a single digit. So if you were born on the 29th, then 2 and 9 is 11, and 1 and 1 is 2, so that's a 2. You take the month, if you were born in September, that's the 9, and you take 2018, which you reduce to a single number, which is 2. So you'll have 2 plus 9, which is 11, plus 2, which is 13, and 1 and 3 is 4. So you will be in a 4 year. I'm going to say that again, because I don't have a whiteboard here to show you. You take the day of your birth, reduce it to a single digit. You take the month of your birth, reduce it to a single digit. You take the year, 2018, reduce it to a single digit. We've just said it was a 2. And you add the 3 together, and then you take whatever number you get out of that and reduce it to a single digit, and that will give you the year number that you are in. So I'm going to give you a quick review of what each of those numbers mean in terms of the year. A 1 number is about new beginnings. It's about starting something new. It's about a newer version of yourself. It's about a new way of thinking. It's about a new way of appreciating yourself and the world around you. It's a really good energy for getting out there and for expanding and for making your mark. That's a 1 year. A 2 year, you may also have a 2 number, and it may correspond to the 2018 number. A 2 year is about seeing the balance. It's about appreciating that both sides exist. It's about appreciating that this is a dualistic universe and that what we call reality is actually filtered through what's important to us. It's not actually the truth. It's part of the illusion. Actuality is that everything is a balance of support and challenge. A 3 year is the waltzer, it's the dancer, it's the expander, okay? So in a 3 year, we set long-term goals. We become much clearer about what we really want. We work out a strategy of how to get there. We unleash our creativity so that we can expand and we can grow. We can also in a 3 year become very dogmatic about our beliefs. We can try and force our beliefs on other people. In other words, we can become contractive as opposed to being expansive. We can hang on to beliefs that no longer serve us. A 4 year is about the visionary, remember? So 4 year, you see the big picture of your life and you can truly appreciate how support and challenge work in the universe on a bigger scale. You also can see what no longer serves you. You start breaking boundaries for what serves you and what no longer serves you. So what happens is you discard the parts that are of your life that you think are not working or not serving you, and you decide what to keep. It's like doing an internal audit or spring clean. It's like clearing out the cupboards so that you can actually put new things in them. That is a 4 year. A 5 year is about adapting to the changes that you made in a 4 year, because when you start doing the spring cleaning and you start getting rid of stuff, and in the beginning when you start spring cleaning, the place looks like hell, right? So it creates waves and it can make some people unhappy and it changes things. And so change needs to be adapted to. So when you move into a 5 year is about adapting to these changes that you made in a 4 year. A 6 year is about discrimination. It's about discrimination and balance, discriminating between what serves you and what doesn't serve you. discriminating between what is a value of yours and what is a value of someone else's that you're trying to live up to in order to please them. A 6 year is about becoming highly discriminative of what it is that you really want, what's really important to you, and living your life on your terms. It is also it's also a number of connecting to family, connecting to friends, connecting to your social and your business network, and deciding what it is that you need to help you see the beauty in your life. A 7 year is about introspection. A 7 year is about asking those big questions. Who am I? What's it all about? It's the year of, it can be very idealistic, right? So you can have expectations that are not fulfilled in a 7 year, right? But it is about going within. It's about connecting to the essence of who you are. It's about connecting to that thing that is bigger than you. It's about finding some sort of spiritual core or essence that helps you feel connected and helps to calm down your insecurities and fear of the future. So a 7 year can be quite introspective. It's very much about finding yourself. It can be that midlife crisis year, you know. That's a 7 year. Now listen, anything that I say that might sound negative about these numbers, remember, it's about adapting. So they have just as many positive as negative characteristics. There is no such thing as a good year number to have or a bad year number to have. An 8 is about bringing things to an end. An 8 is about practicality. Okay, so now I've started something new. I've seen the balance. I've unleashed my creativity. I've broken the boundaries and done the spring clean. I've adapted to the changes. I've become more discriminating about what serves me. I've really asked the big questions about what is my purpose and how can I use this to serve myself and others. And 8 is now practically right. So what are you actually going to do with this now, right? What are you going to do with this? How are you going to live this in the world? How are you going to tie up the loose ends of the last 8 years? How are you going to do the second part of the spring clean, which is becoming even more discerning about what you keep and what you don't keep? 8s are about boundaries, about setting down boundaries. This is as far as I'm prepared to go. This is where my natural boundaries lie. This is where I am going to draw the line in the sand, and this is what I need other people to respect about me. That is an 8 year. It's about bringing things to an end and ending it off and clearing it up. And then a 9 year is about transformation and healing. Everything that we've done over those 8 years, if we've moved along with that energy and we've done the work, just like it is with anything else, then in the 9 year, we have the transformation and healing of the previous 9 years of our lives. We actually integrate those things that served us and didn't serve us. We learn the lessons. We appreciate how it has helped us grow. We appreciate ourselves more, and we create that springboard for moving into the new beginning of the next 1 year. This one has been much longer than usual. I hope that you have found it useful. Please check out my life mapping page or my website, www.lifemapping.co.za. And if you want to know more about life mapping, please feel free to message me. Or better yet, come for a life mapping personality analysis and get to know how your numbers truly function for you and what your default behavioral settings are. If you found this useful, please share it with your friends, and definitely like the post if you'd like. Oh, gee, I'm getting all awkward with the marketing stuff, right? You see that's not really my forte. So like the page, go to Life Mapping, please like the page, share with your friends, and let's make 2018 the year of true wisdom, where we connect to that deep inner wisdom that we all have available to ourselves. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you again tomorrow.